Welcome to another lesson for Literacy Fridays. Today we continue our series on media literacy. We're at part 3 of the series, and today we're looking at back formation and blending in media. We'll start off with back formation. What is back formation? Back formation is a word formation process by which a new word, it's usually a verb, is created in relation to something that was invented. Simply put, something is created, we start using it, and then other words are developed in relation to that word. And the new words are as a result of what we call back formation. For example, before the invention of the typewriter, there was no such thing as typewriting. So naturally, the word typewriting did not exist, but since its inception, it has morphed into just being referred to as typing. Here goes another example of back formation. So the search engine named Google was launched in 1995. Prior to Google, naturally, there would have been other search engines, and the search engines are what we would use to surf the internet. Yes, we refer to it as surfing the internet. Then, with the popularization of Google, perhaps because of its user-friendly appeal, many persons just resorted to using Google as their main search engine to find out just about anything on the internet. Now the word Google has now been used as a verb to mean to conduct any search on the internet, and it doesn't mean that you're using Google to do it. So even if you're using another search engine like Mozilla Firefox still, then you could still say that you are Googling something. So to Google something just means to use the internet to find out information about it. It doesn't mean that you're actually using the search engine called Google. Our next example of back formation comes from Twitter, which was launched in 2006. For its logo, this social media platform included this little bird. And we know the sounds of birds, right? Yes, tweets. So each message that is posted at Twitter is considered as a tweet. So to tweet is to make a post at Twitter. That's what the developers had created that word for. So that's a result of back formation. Now, many people may say that they're going to tweet something, but they're not necessarily posting to Twitter. So although the word tweet in the social media space actually means to make a post at Twitter, it should not come as a surprise if somebody is saying they're tweeting but not using Twitter. So to tweet, it is acceptable to say that it is just anything that's being posted on the internet that can be considered as a tweet, especially if it's in a message format. Next up is photoshopping. Now we keep using that term, but prior to the early 1990s, that terminology did not exist, at least not in the public domain. Photoshop as an image editing software was first released to the public in 1987. The developers would have tried to package it with items that came with scanners with the hope that persons would use the scanners and decide to use the app or the software to develop their photos and enhance them. Just as you're seeing here, just make a bit of filter, make adjustments to clothes so that artists could perfect images that they were distributing or publishing. Now, photoshopping has taken on another life in a sense. So the word Photoshop as a verb just now means to edit images using computer software applications, and it doesn't mean that you're using the Photoshop app. It just means you're using a software application that allows you to do what Photoshop was originally designed for, which was to edit computer images or edit images on the computer, even if you would have scanned them. So now we are able to enhance things just because of two brothers who developed that Photoshop technology. Prior to that, there were no cropping of photos, but now we can easily crop a photo and adjust it, apply filters. All of that is still referred to as photoshopping. Image matters so much in this day and age, and a lot of persons get caught up in it. So thanks to the Knowles brothers, photoshopping is possible, and thanks to those who further develop it and make it widely available to the society. There are even photo editing apps that exist for free. Now, of course, based on the pictures you saw me show, those are my pictures, of course. I don't spend time photoshopping things. Now we look at blending. Blending is another word formation process. This one involves combining parts of multiple words to create a new word. So at least two words, and you're not using the words in entirety, but you're just using parts of them. For example, the word churgle is a combination of chuckle and gurgle. So it's a sound similar to what babies make, but it's a chuckle still, so you call it a churgle. Next example, breakfast plus lunch equals brunch. Now, when Apple created the iPod, which was a device that they could plug in audio content and listen to them on the go, at the start, people mainly plugged into music. That was what was available. Then as time passed with the iPod, it started to become a case where they were offering things that sounded more like what used to be on the radio, lengthier conversations, things that you can listen to, of course, but there seemed to be more like talk shows and conversations with people. Well, someone thought it sounded much like what was happening on broadcast radio, so the words iPod and broadcast were combined to create podcast. Got it? Next was the advent of weblogs. Weblogs are basically like logs on the internet that kind of track persons' life stories. So they were similar to diary style records of what persons were facing. It would just be for information's sake, and persons started really reading weblogs a lot till the point where they did a bit of clipping and started referring to them as just blogs for short. Now, the thing about blogging is it has to be frequent for it to be considered a blog. It can't just be a web page with information. It has to be that regular updates are posted on things that persons can read from the page regularly. Then, as blogs became popular, persons started uploading videos at websites on a regular basis. And the merge of the words, the blending, is referred to as vlogs or vlogging. Vlogging does not have to be conducted on a web page anymore. The point is, it's regular uploads of videos. Now, for the next three words that we will look at in this video, I will show you how the two word formation processes were at work. This man is phishing, right? At least we hope so. But there's something called phishing that starts with PHI. Sounds similar, right? Phishing, yeah. So, phishing is an illegal act of sending emails to someone to lure them into giving out their personal data, and you'd use that personal data to then get access to their possessions. So why not call it phishing, YPH? Well, the word was deliberately created to show how persons who conduct phishing are pretentious. They're very sly. So we know that this letter F makes the sound F, but the letters P and H coming together also make that F sound in most words that they appear in that order. Some people view the PH sound as imitating the F sound. So, likewise, because fishers, Phishers, are actually pretending to do good things, to be legitimate business people, the word phishing with the PH was developed to make a distinction about how fake these people are. They're just deceiving you. So phishing is referred to, as I said, the illegal act of sending emails just to trap persons to get their personal data in order to use that information later. So before such fraudulent activity began, there was no such word as phishing, phishing. But since it was created with the PH to make a distinction about how fake these people are, how pretentious they are, how illegal it is, the PH was put in deliberately. Then the blending word formation process began. So if the message is sent via SMS, and SMS are text message, was referred to as SMS, it is considered as smishing. So if someone sends you an email telling you that you need to update your account information, that would be considered as phishing because it was sent by email. And just like how a fisherman would put bait on a hook hoping to lure the fishes towards him, they're doing the same. They just send out the email to a chunk of people hoping that some persons will bite onto the bait in the email. But they can also send it, as I said, by text message. And if such is done, it's considered as smishing, not phishing. But they also take it a step further at times. They will call you pretending to be perhaps your agent at the bank, saying, please verify the data that you gave me earlier today. If you get any such call, it is considered as phishing because they were doing the same by voice call. Now, I hope this week's video has been informative. Let's be aware of what's happening in the media space because, as I said, media literacy is all about that, gaining that wealth of knowledge so that we can be able to analyze what is in the media and fully comprehend. All the best. See you next week.